So welcome along to A Story to Tell with me, Richard Beauvoisin. This is mainly taken from my Radio Bath show every Thursday morning from 10 until 12. If you do like it, don't forget to subscribe, share it to others, and let everyone know all about Radio Bath. Hope you enjoy it. Now, on the way in this morning, I was listening to the Avril Lavigne album, and I thought I'd warm my voice up for doing radio today by having a little sing-along. And then when I met my guests in the car park, I literally couldn't actually say a word because my voice was so sore because I've been screaming that song out loud. Hence, we've played it. That was Complicated by Avril Lavigne. It's Richard Beauvoisin here until midday today. On A Story to Tell, we've got Michael and Stephen. They're from Awen's Call. I'm going to read this bit out. They're a bardic band who play Celtic-inspired folk rock. No, I didn't have any idea what it meant either, but we're going to find out all about that right up until 12 o'clock. If you have any questions for them, email studio@radiobath.com, or you can text Bath, followed by a message to 80011. Be back on with Michael and Stephen very shortly. Man on the Moon, REM, good morning everybody. So it's Live Lounge-ish today. We've kind of got some tracks from you guys. So on today's Story to Tell, we've got Michael, Sebastian and Stephen Nortrop. And if you were an early listener of mine, you may recognise that name, which we'll be talking about in a minute. And they're from the band Awen's Call. They're a bardic band who play Celtic-inspired folk rock. Please, good morning, chaps, by the way.
Morning. Good morning, Richard.
There you go. First of all, please tell me what does that mean? What does bardic band?
What's a bardic band? Well, bardic band... everybody knows what a bard is, or everybody has an idea of what a bard is.
Okay, I'm going to hold you there. I don't.
You don't?
No, so please, I'm going to go real base level here.
No, that's fine, because I was just about to explain, and so what an amazing synchronistic coincidence that would be. A bard, people think of minstrels, these geezers who went around, medieval geezers who went around with lute and that kind of on horseback sometimes. It's a little bit like it. They were poets. In medieval times, they were poets, and writers. They were those who would tell stories, and so we'll perhaps go into a little bit more to exactly what they did, because it was much broader than that. But we're basically in that. We got one foot in that whole kind of vibe, the minstrel sort of vibe. Yeah, a little bit Celtic, a little bit medieval.
Right.
But
okay.
Rock and roll as well.
But rock and roll as well. I cannot wait. Genuinely cannot wait. So we're going to find out all about that. Now, Stephen, good morning. I can see you just over the monitors here. Now, you came in here back in April 23. I haven't been doing this that long at that point. We spoke all about estate agency. You just, literally, I think the following week, you were opening up your business.
Yep.
So before we talk about Awen's Call, how is business going?
It's okay. I'm still am an estate agent. This is just my other hat today. It's still selling houses in Wiltshire and the Bath area. So, yeah, it's going fine, Richard.
Amazing. It's good to see you're still in business. You're still smiling. So, yeah, when I chatted to you online, we were saying... I said about estate agency, and then you were like, could I bring the band in? I'm like, oh. Now, the other thing we're going to talk about later on, I can see it in front of me here, and those that have seen the picture on Facebook and Instagram and all of that type of stuff, is your amazing... I'll have to rephrase this another time. I was just about to say, we're going to look at your amazing instrument, but that just sounds very wrong. Just realised how that was coming out.
There is a watershed at 9 o'clock,
there is yeah.
We're quite low on that.
Well, it was 9 o'clock last night. Yeah. I'm still on that watershed. Yeah, what is the name of that instrument then?
The instrument behind me is actually a harp guitar, and they first appeared around about the 1750s, 1800s as I guess somebody just had a bit of extra wood in his guitar making workshop, and we'll describe it a little bit later on, but it's basically a multi-stringed instrument. It's a mixture of a harp and a guitar, no surprises there, and so you got the normal, we'll hear it later, but you got a normal guitar up there, which is like a guitar, and then you got some bass strings down at the bottom, and and the trick is actually putting both of those together at the same time in the same song, on the same page of the notation.
13 strings.
13 strings. Now, isn't that a mystical number? You know, what does that mean? Is that a coven of witches, or is it Jesus and the disciples? I mean, you know, could be either. Really, could go either. It depends which way you swing, doesn't it? Really.
I've absolutely no idea. No idea at all. Do you know what? Sometimes I look at, I have a lot of guests on, and I'm very lucky that people come onto the show, and I genuinely have no idea where we're going today. Which I think is quite fascinating for me, if I'm honest with you.
That is a very bardic thing to do.
Is it?
Yes, it is, because the other thing we're going to talk about is the kind of the bard's secret sauce, which is a thing called Awen, and some people pronounce it different ways. You know, sometimes it's pronounced Awen, but very rarely. I think it's more Arwen, so it's a bit more piratical. You know, a bit like the.
It sounded more Irish, if I'm honest with you.
Oh yeah, well they were
right.
Irish, they were Welsh, they were Celtic basically. So you're talking about northern France, Gaul, hence Asterix the Gaul, and he had there was a character in that series, Cacophonix the bard, who always used to get gagged because he was just awful. And so Irish, Welsh, English, and a little bit of Scottish. They did it a little bit differently in Scotland, as they do, which is good. It's a Scots way.
They are always different in every single part of the country. It's always amazing, isn't it? You go to America and it's such a big place, and you have the different parts of California and Texas and New York, but they're miles away from each other. You could literally go from Bath to Bristol, which is just you could almost throw a football that far, and almost completely different as well. And then you just go across the bridge to Wales, and it's like a completely different environment.
Absolutely.
So what are your backgrounds then? So Stephen, I've got you down as an estate agent, but you're not here today as an estate agent.
Well, no, I used to be in bands a long time ago.
Right.
I was the singer in a 70s glam rock revival band many years ago, back in the early 80s.
Okay.
Actually late 80s. So I departed music quite a while ago, got into various things, tour guiding, estate agency, and then met up with Michael. Michael was my first ever guitarist when I moved to Bath.
Right.
Not for very long, it should be said.
And then met up again a few years ago, and sort of he drew me back towards being in bands and stuff. But I'm not singing anymore. I now hit things,
right?
And I sort of manage the whole thing, give a commercial edge to this woo band.
And how is that going then?
Yeah, we're making strides. We're definitely getting there. So yeah, and the hitting stuff is getting better.
Okay. Is it not your natural thing to hit things then?
I've never had to hit stuff for a living before, and now I am, and it's learning all the patterns and stuff, and being disciplined, which is where I fall down.
Steve did a great job of stepping up to the plate. We were filming a video and had a drum track, and we needed somebody to play some percussion. And at that point, it all came together so quickly. I didn't have chance to pull in a percussionist. So I basically said, "Look, there's a load of percussion, Steve. This is your moment. Go and hit it." And it's on video, so we can move the track around, we can edit and everything like that. So it doesn't matter. So as long as it looks as if you're hitting the right thing at the right time, that's fine. And there are only two things to hit at that point. So that's what. And then he was hired basically after that. Up to a point.
So how long has Awen's Call been around then?
Well, that's an interesting question. The band itself. Probably about 15 weeks, something like that. We only started putting the band together at the beginning of the year, but going back before that, the music has been evolving over the past 15 months. Myself and my sister, we started working together. She had an event she had to fulfill a 15-minute slot. She said, "Do you want to do it?" I said, "Absolutely not." I gave that sort of stuff up years ago, but that sort of is taking its course. Building the brand itself, the Bardic brand, I think that's taken 55 years myself. I think I started that when I was about 6.
Okay.
And when I was thinking, when did it start? I recall a time on holiday when I picked up a tennis racket, and I was playing a Rubber Bullets by 10cc had just come out, and I was wandering around. We were on holiday at a hotel, and I was wandering around the hotel playing 10cc on this tennis racket.
As you do.
About 6, 7 or something like that, yeah. And I think that was part of it, but there were other things that sort of helped along the way. And it has been in the... It's been fermenting away, and wine. It's been sort of sitting in the in the barrel, just getting better over the years. And now is the time. Literally, it has been 55 years since in the making.
I would say it's quite a niche market. I'm going to go down that route, and we're going to play some of your tracks at the end of this part. We're going to play your first track.
Yeah.
How would you describe the music?
The music is folk rock is the only thing that gets kind of close, but it is it's acoustically led. The band is currently, the live band is 5 people at the moment. So we have acoustic guitar, we have vocals, we have a double bass, we have a very fine fiddle player, Gina, who is professional and has been playing for years and years with a whole variety of people that we would all know. But
and Stephen,
who hits
expert,
things. Yes,
percussionist.
Absolutely. That really helps. We have a bard, we have a Welsh poet who is working with us now and doing some bits and pieces, and we have a mystical folklorist as well who comes in. So it's a mix. The whole thing is not just a band, it's a mixture of storytelling, it's a mixture of narrative lyrics and sort of channeling and a bit of spiritual stuff and a bit of sort of it's a cauldron. Let's say it's a cauldron of sort of different parts of an event.
I see myself as a bardic Bez, by the way. That's my role.
As in Happy Mondays.
As in Happy Mondays.
Okay.
Bez, yeah.
Do you have as many substances in your system as he does? Or?
Those were the days.
Those were the days. Now we're going to listen to one of your tracks. This one's Black Pine, I believe.
That's correct.
Talk to me about that track then.
Well, this came together as part of the 15-month thing. At the beginning of the 15 months, I started piloting a podcast. It's the slowest podcast in the universe because we take a long time to do these 15-minute episodes. But what I wanted to do, see, the thing is, you can't just talk about being a bard or a druid or a vape, which is another aspect of all of this. You have to actually do it. It has to be a verb. A bardism is a verb. So I thought it's no good just talking about this stuff on a podcast. I have to actually do it, and I have to bring in all that storytelling and all the music and all the elements of being a bard, being a druid into this to demonstrate it. So we wrote, so each episode has got original music, and hence we need to put the band together because it's a lot of work to produce the original music. So this was the first podcast episode, and this is a cautionary tale.
Well, here we go on Radio Bath. It's Awen's Call.
Bring me a cone from the black pine tree that I may the future see. Bring me a cone from the black pine tree, and I will be yours, and I will be more if you bring me a cone from the black pine tree, and ever my lover you'll be. Oh, sing me the song of the black pine tree, climb to her nest, hear the lay of the forest yet more wicked than wise was their augury. For my path is now distant from thee, and never my lover you'll be.
So it's Richard Beauvoisin back here until midday today on A Story to Tell. We've got from Awen's Call, Michael and Stephen, and they're here all morning. We're going to be playing some of their songs. We're going to hear live. What is that instrument called again?
That is a harp guitar.
A harp guitar, and it literally looks like a harp.
And a guitar.
And a guitar.
Yeah.
A small version of a harp.
How did they think of that?
I know. I've been in music all my life. I've loved music and all of that, and I've never ever seen or heard of one before. So
this is a first then.
And we're going to have a little play with that later on. We really are.
Indeed.
First of all, though, we're going to talk about medieval bards. First of all, what is a medieval bard?
Medieval bard is a... the bards were... when they came out of bard school, which was a thing, they were, as people know them, the poets and the minstrels and the storytellers of their time, but they were also much more than that. They were trained to have incredible memories for stuff, and they were genealogists and historians. This was a time when nothing was written down unless you brought in a monk to do a bit of illuminated writing, and they cost an arm and a leg. You would get the bards in. The bards were trained to memorize a lot of stuff. There were 3 levels of bardic training at bard school. It was like a Duke of Edinburgh. At the end of the first 12 years, the end of the first 3 or 4 years, you got a bronze tree branch with bells on. You know, hey, everybody needs one of those. Then at the end of the second section, you got a silver one, and then at the end of the third one, you got a gold one, and an Amazon voucher.
And an Amazon. And for our young listeners, this is pre the internet.
Yes, it is. Yeah, there wasn't much.
No, I'm just thinking, is this where the phrase "with bells on" comes from? Then,
well, it could be. I could very well be. It was there. It was actually there. The bells, I think, were to signal the entrance of the bard into the room. You know, so they come in and go ching 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 ching.
I'm just thinking about the fact they got a stick with bells on it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So maybe that's where I'm going to have to look that up in my weird world that I live in, by the way.
We'll look on the internet.
We will.
Thank goodness we've got the internet
these days. If anybody does have any questions, by the way, for Michael and for Stephen, then do email in studio@radiobath.com. If you have any questions, that niche moment of any questions about medieval bards, anything's possible. Okay, so
so the fact that they knew all this stuff, and they by the end of this, by the time they got their gold Druid of Edinburgh sort of award, they had memorized 350 songs and poems and stuff like that, and that was a starter because they'd accumulated a load more knowledge. Because everything wasn't written down, you had to get a bard in to remember, and that made them very valuable to important people, kings, those in authority, and you would find the best of the bards in high places where they would be working with the king. Basically, as Mark, they were the original Marcom sort of guys. They would actually be taken on by the king to say good things about, give good news about the king. But what they could do, they could actually say it in a way that ordinary people could understand through poetry and through song and through sort of the stories that they told. So that did make them quite valuable. And you would find them in political circles. You would find them sometimes almost the Druids, certainly with the power behind the throne. They were
spin doctors.
They were well, if you're being paid by somebody, it doesn't do to not give the message that they want. But if they didn't get paid, then that was a bad idea on the part of the monarch, because they're going to turn around and they're going to write. They were political satirists as well. They would actually write things about your enemy. That also made them valuable. That they could sort of diss your enemies through story and through poetry and song, and they could turn that on you as well. And it was said in Ireland that a curse from a bard or a cursed song from a bard could bring boils out on your face. So that's I'm certain it didn't, but Who knows? I can't say. I wasn't there.
If anyone's got boils on their face right now due to our last song, then they should write in.
Absolutely. Please let us know. Health and safety warning.
Please write into notthestudio@radiobath.com. If you do have any boils on your face, we're not taking responsibility for that on this occasion.
Not. No. We're very positive bards. We have a...
I was going to say, kind of what's your approach to it then? How do you link that into what you guys are doing then?
Yeah, I think with the bards have... Well, there are a number of different aspects. I mentioned this secret sauce that the bards had, which Awen, which is kind of like spirit. It's the Welsh for it means flowing inspiration, but it means a little bit more than that. It means spiritual inspiration. It's taken to mean spiritual inspiration in the same way as we talk about in different cultures. We talk about the Holy Spirit, or we talk about the Ruach in Hebrew, or Ruach in if I'm pronouncing that right, in Arabic, or Paramatma, or Kundalini, this kind of stuff. There are lots and lots and lots of different names for it. Well, Awen was the Welsh name for this, and they would actually channel so their songs had a spiritual quality to it, and it was believed that they were actually channeling this stuff from a higher source, and therefore it would change you in some way. It would change them, and that gave them extra gravitas. I mean, maybe that was their own spin, but they certainly believed it. The Druids definitely believed it, and the people believed it, which is the main thing, and the kings believed it because they coughed up for it, and that's the main thing. So so what we do is actually channel that kind. There is a spiritual aspect to what we do, and a channeling of that kind of Awen, that kind of spirit through, because although there are 3 different levels. If you want me to go on,
go on. I'm genuinely intrigued. I've never heard of any of this before.
Okay,
and the thing I love about Radio Bath is that we have time. This is 10:40 in the morning, and we're learning about medieval bards.
Yeah, well, why not?
Where else are you going to get this? It's amazing. So please carry on.
Excellent. So like the bards, so we are principally, so there are 2 or 3 levels. When people buy a ticket, they come. We've done a couple of shows. We haven't done very many, and we're moving on. But let's say, take it forward 6 months when we're doing it. People buy a ticket. Our contract with them is to entertain and to give them a good time, songs, stories, all of that kind of stuff, as bards would have done. A bit of a dance, which you'd enjoy, a bit of a lurch in my case, usually a drunken lurch, because that's the only time I
wondered where that was going then, if I'm honest with
you. Yeah, probably would. We will bring people in, and that's one level of it. But then there's another level, because through the story and through the song, so people have a good time. But those who come, as somebody once said, he who has ears to hear, let him hear. There will be a spiritual dimension through the songs that people can pick up on. And it may just very well be that you go away from that slightly different, slightly changed, questioning. You wouldn't necessarily know that at the time. And it's certainly not preaching. It's not a platform. I'm not in a pulpit here. But it may be a year down the line, you go, hey, I think differently about that topic or that thing now. When did that happen? And maybe you ask me, it was when I met those hairy bardy people, in that gig in, Bedminster or wherever the hell we were. And now I'm questioning things, and that's part of the process as well. And that is the spiritual aspect, that we are the kind of, we see ourselves, my sister and I see ourselves as the conduit, the pipe, if you like, for the water to come down through. And our job is to keep that pipe as clean as possible, where we can, so the water flows through to the people, and that's it. So there's that spiritual quality. And then for those people who come who do know a little bit of that stuff, it's actually rousing them to say, how do you use that then in a practical everyday way, that spirity kind of stuff that you're doing, and that's one aspect. That is a very, I believe that's quite a tight tie with the bardic tradition and with the druidic tradition. It's actually that spiritual quality. So that's part of it. Spiritual, but not religious. Definitely not religious.
That sounds amazing. I'm learning stuff every single moment that we're here. We're going to hear another of your songs. So this one is Beltane Flame. Tell me about this song then.
Beltane. Well, Beltane is one of the 8 festivals. It's kind of a modern take on a thing called the Wheel of the Year. It's the modern take on the festivals that have been around since forever. which, because they're tied in with nature, they're like harvest and May and springtime and Christmas and Yule and all that kind of stuff. So there are 8 festivals. The Beltane Festival is May Day. It's the fire festival, and it's the time of everything springing to life and people going out. Sort of animals are procreating left, right, and centre, and this is a good time for all that kind of stuff as well. Maypoles. Lots of symbolism in the maypole, as you can imagine, that ties in with Beltane. And this is Beltane.
Here we go on Radio Bath.
This is Radio Bath.
Fleetwood Mac, Don't Stop. It's Richard Beauvoisin here until midday today. So we're talking all morning with Michael and Stephen from the band Awen's Call. I'm going to talk very quickly about the Senedd in Wales. Although it's not spelled like that, is it? It's unusual.
Yeah, it's spelt with a double D on the end for us. That's the Welsh TH, and absolutely. The Senedd. The Senedd is the Welsh Parliament, and you remember we talked just now about bards. Their sort of natural stomping ground was high places. You know, the best of the bards would gravitate towards those. They'd be picked up by kings and those in authority, and they moved in political circles as well. So did druids, and so it's actually quite happenstance, and it worked out quite well. We've actually recently written an anthem for what is actually it's the 25th anniversary year of the Welsh Parliament. It was 25 years ago, just at the end of last month, that then Prince of Wales Charles opened the place, and there is an anniversary year going on at the moment with sort of things in the pipeline. We've written an anthem for that period of time.
So how did that come about then?
Our vocalist Elizabeth is actually involved with the Senedd. She moved to Wales. She's born in Bath, like myself. No, we weren't. We were born in Portsmouth. We weren't born in Bath.
You're a Pompey boy,
and so are you, I believe.
I
think we've quite read each other's bios almost, but yes, I was born in Portsmouth, moved up when I was 4. There were parents involved with that as well, and
that's a good thing.
My sister came with me, believe it or not, and she moved to Wales about 18 and stayed there ever since. And now she is involved with the Welsh Parliament there. So we had a connection there, and it just, I went into the building. The building is a beautiful Richard Rogers designed building with this huge wooden roof like a tree over the top, and granite on the floor, and slate rather on the floor. And I said, this would be a great place to play. We should play here at some point. And it was things just came together, and we wrote the anthem. We just filmed some including Beltane, which we just played. We just filmed some videos there as well, and specifically the anthem that we wrote, which is it's called Dragonfire. Tanith Thrai is I'm probably not pronouncing that exactly right, not being Welsh, but that is the name of it, and it's being released on the 11th. So okay. I've got a clip of it today. We haven't put the entire thing out yet, but there is a video around and a trailer on the site on YouTube and on our social as well.
I was going to say, where can people get your music if they like your music?
Awen's Call, AWENSCALL. There we go. Awen's Call. Awen's Call anywhere. Just put it into Google. Arwenscall.com. Our Facebook is Awen's Call. Our Insta is Awen's Call, and our YouTube is /Awen's Call. I think.
And Bandcamp, of course.
And Bandcamp, yeah, absolutely. Which is where you can buy the. I mean, you can buy it. You know, you can listen to it obviously on Spotify and all the channels when it's released. These 2 tracks, Beltane in it, as well as Tanith Thrai, are going to be released on the 11th. So. Okay. Yes,
no, amazing. Unfortunately, whenever anybody says Bandcamp, I always have something very different in my head.
Yeah, absolutely. Well,
from American Pie. Which again, we're nowhere near the watershed, so we're not going down that road for now. There we go. So we're going to listen to this track. So I say it's kind of half of the track, isn't it? To some degree.
Yes, it is. Yeah, it's a verse and a chorus. It's a little bit more than we've trailered on the video trailer, but it's there. So and this is Liz singing on that.
Brilliant. Here on Radio Bath, Awen's Call.
Where peace seems the farthest, melts the blade of the knife with the fire of the dragon, Tanith Thrai. Iron and gold are the words from this chamber, hammered and honed, forged in the heat of
Bass. It's Richard Beauvoisin here until midday today. Back for our second hour with Michael and Stephen from Awen's Call. And we're going to start off the second hour with the bit that I'm looking forward to the most, if I'm honest with you. Okay, so you have brought in a harp guitar. For those that weren't listening in the first hour, can you please explain what that is again, please?
Right.
Oh, hang on. Always helps if I turn your faders up.
That's right. Oh, I can hear everything now. Well, like its name, it is a harp and a guitar. Well, kind of fused together rather. Excellent. That's good. We're just shutting the door. That's all cool. It is. So basically, what you're looking at is a pregnant guitar more than anything else. It's a carbon fibre. This is a modern version. Most of them wood, and I prefer wood. Often with guitars, the Martins and stuff that I've got are all wood, obviously. But this one is carbon fibre, and it's high. It's very highly technologically produced. Basically, you've got two parts to it. There's a guitar part, which is 6 strings, and has at the moment is tuned just as a normal guitar would be, for a reason. I usually work with different tunings on that, and sometimes take the D down, the G down, and sort of push the bottom up a little bit as well. So that's the obvious part, and you can play that like a normal guitar if you so choose. But then of course you got the extra added bonus. We got another 7 strings. Normally they make them with 6 strings. This was made in Ireland. It's green. I should have mentioned it is green.
It is.
You do notice
striking.
It's green. Yeah, it's kind of it's kind of got this nickname as Thunderbird 2, and it kind of looks that kind of green as well. And so the bass strings run down from, so underneath the E, you've got usually it comes as a D, C, B, and goes down the scale. Except I usually have to tune these different ways, and and the trick is playing, as we'll have a go at later, is playing a top line and an accompaniment and a bass, all at the same time with a clear head. I haven't managed yet. I got this a few weeks ago. We actually bought this for the Zenith because I wanted to get something that would bridge the gap between the traditional stuff, and there's a thing called the Cruth, which is the Welsh, the traditional Welsh harp, and the Kinnard Cruth, I think it's called, the high-headed harp, which is the kind of triangular one that you see, in antiquity. That's what artists use to serenade, that kind of Elizabethan thing. So I bought this for the I got it made. I got the extra string put on because there wasn't quite enough, in my opinion. And and here it is. And I got it. It was delivered from Ireland. I said, guys, get it to me on the Monday. We're filming on the Sunday. I would like a few days. It was so busy. I had about 3 hours to practice with it before we were actually shooting the video. So
how did you learn to play that then? Because you're very kindly going to let me have a little play in a minute, I'll be honest with. I'm bricking myself a lot. I just don't want to break it. But I can't. I'm just, I can play the guitar. That's fine. I can't figure out how I would play the harp at the same time as playing the guitar.
Well, it's a bit like when you have Travis picking in country and stuff like that. You've got this. And the thumb is doing that bass, bum 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 bum, that kind of thing. You're doing sort of the same with the harp. You're playing stuff with your on the guitar part, and that's tuned wrong for C. I'm in the wrong key. So okay, let's go into E minor here, which is actually G minor because I've got a capo on. That's a B. And a little bit sweaty fingers at the moment, but you add in the bass strings, and I've discovered that you, because I'm a novice on this, so I'm not going to be going wild on the bass strings today, because you've got to have a lot of control over them, because otherwise they all blend in together, and it sounds like a real cacophonics of a cacophony of cacophonics proportions. And
great word, by the way, cacophony.
Cacophony is a wonderful word.
It's a great word.
A mixture of sounds. But so that's the harp guitar, as it were. Would you like a go?
Yes, I'd love to have a go. Okay, so you're going to have to take your headphones off, unfortunately. Stephen, you might need to talk a little bit.
Okay.
Okay, so
you can give a running commentary.
You can.
So Michael is about to stand up with the guitar. He is passing the guitar over to Richard.
Right.
Richard.
Okay. It's now in Richard's capable hands.
Richard's now got the guitar.
I am now on the guitar.
Yeah.
Okay, so
if you play at the moment, it's tuned normally.
Okay.
So if you play, say, an E chord.
Yeah.
And in blues, you might be using those three: the E, A, and the B7, for instance.
Oh, blimey! It's a while since I've played.
Okay. I've put a little red sticker down on this, especially for you, and you can keep this if you want this sticker to remind you forever.
Literally, I'm excited beyond all belief.
So that is essentially, if you're playing an E chord, that is the root note for that. That's it.
Okay.
That's a start.
Okay.
We all start with an E, don't we?
We do, yeah, absolutely.
And then if you play an A, you're this one. Oh, that's an A and that's a B. The top two. That's easy. That's that. And if you go to a B7, the next string underneath that is a B. Except it's not.
No.
Yeah. And there you go.
And then you go back to E.
Back to the sticker.
There you go. Beautifully tuned, by the way. Well, I'm going to pass it back before I break it. There we go.
A big round of applause.
There absolutely.
Children.
There you go.
TV, this man,
a live masterclass.
Just proving I can still play the guitar a little bit. It's, and you're going to give us a rendition, aren't you, now?
Well, I'm going to try, but as I say, I am harp guitar rookie number 403.
That's all right.
But
come a bit closer to the microphone.
Yeah, I'll just extirpate my.
That's all right.
Headphone.
And when you play, what I'll do, Stephen, I'll get you to bring your microphone down to the guitar, if that's okay.
I can do that.
As much as we love hearing you.
Excellent.
It should just swing round, hopefully. There you go. Lovely. Give us a little go on the guitar again. There we go. Perfect. Sounds great.
Okay. What can I say?
So what are you going to give us now, then?
I'm going to play a song that's in production at the moment. We did a gig a couple of Fridays ago, and we tried it out. It was a solstice gig, one of those Wheel of the Year festivals, and we tried this out. And excuse me, I'm just going to have to take a sip of water there because I'm drying out. But we tried this out. It's called Dunstan's Bay. There are lyrics and top line for it, but we're still putting the whole thing together. So I'll just play an instrumental version of it because we don't want me to sing, and we definitely don't want Stephen to sing.
That's
so
harsh.
Really and I'm not even convinced about Richard singing. But it might be a beautiful blend with the three of us.
It
a
might.
Beautiful bardic blend.
Cacophonics words come back again.
It has a little bit, hasn't it? Well, do you know, we'll probably leave the singing off for now.
Let's do that.
Just largely because I don't know which key it's going to be, and let's use that as an excuse.
Exactly. Okay? I don't either, and that's the frightening thing, you know. So
okay, for it. Let's have a little listen.
Let's try. Oh dear, oh dear. My fingers are really sweaty.
Just to prove it's live.
can get some bass strings.
Sounding absolutely amazing there. That was brilliant.
That was a little bit more like Tigger playing a harp guitar, I think.
It's quite warm in here, isn't it?
It's very warm. My hands are sweating buckets, but that's okay. The listeners don't need to know that. They
That's
probably
all good.
prefer not to. But,
if anybody wants to hear that, are you guys playing gigs or anything soon?
we've got some evenings we're setting up in mixture of Bath, Bristol, South Wales, Awen evenings. You'll be able to find those on our social or on the site. They'll be around. We're setting up we got some venues in Bristol. We haven't got anywhere in Bath yet, have we? So if anybody knows of anywhere intimate, about 30, 40 people, 50 max, where you could sit on the floor, play music, chill, do some meditation-y sort of spiritually stuff, woo-y sort of stuff, and sing some songs, sing together in a kind of choral a thing called a katana, which is a sort of sing-back kind of thing, chanting, mantra kind of things. If that's your thing, you know anywhere, let me know, or let Stephen know.
Yes, or email in at studio@radiobath.com.
Even better, go there.
And you can do that easily. We're going to be back with Stephen and Michael very shortly. Fresh from performing Friday night at Glastonbury, there's Dua Lipa, Hotter Than Hell. That's the Jack Wins remix. Never heard that one before. Right, so it's time for the last part then, with Stephen and with Michael from Awen's Call. They've been here all morning, a bardic band that play Celtic folk rock music. Have I done that right?
Yeah,
is that close enough?
Definitely getting better.
Getting
It's
closer.
the fourth time now, and it's really swinging now.
And I haven't even read it. My sheet's over there somewhat.
I noticed. Yeah. I'm impressed.
We're on to quick fire round then, okay? Now, Stephen, you were in April last year.
Yep.
And I thought there might be a chance you might remember the questions. So therefore, as you're going to answer them as well, we've got a whole new set of questions. Okay?
I've been revising as well.
This is set 2 questions which only returning guests get.
Excellent.
Okay, so normal first question is, what's your favourite ice cream? No, we've gone away from that. We're going so far highbrow. So, to start with, very quickly then, Michael, what is your favourite flavour of crisps?
Crisps, I would say. Oh my God, my memories are seared by prawn cocktail, and I'd love to say I keep 20 or 30 packets under the bed, but I don't.
Right.
But, yeah, I would go to. They're noxious though, aren't they? They're very Moorish, but they're noxious. Your breath, you don't want to snot right afterwards.
Generally not. So prawn cocktail for yourself, Stephen?
Cheese and onion.
Cheese and
King of crisps.
Okay. Is there any particular brands you like? You can mention them if you wish.
Well, I am going to say Walker's cheese and onion, the blue pack. It's the fallback flavour, really.
Okay. Fair enough. Right then, Stephen, for you first. Do you leave things at the bottom of the stairs to take up later?
Yes, I do.
Do you? Why do you do that?
It's what saves journey time, doesn't it? So, do a couple of things at the same time. It makes sense.
Fair enough. Stephen, what about yourself? Sorry, Michael?
Absolutely not, because we have a dog that traverses the stairs with monotonous regularity and picks up the things that you leave on the stairs and carries them out into the garden. So that's okay, but you can't leave anything on the stairs. No. And they're very steep stairs as well, so the possibility of tripping over.
The trip hazard. Now, I mentioned this because my wife loves leaving things at the bottom of the stairs, and therefore I am obliged, if I see something at the bottom of the stairs, to take them upstairs next time I go upstairs, of course. But because I disagree with it so much, I leave them there anyway. So yeah. Well, there we go. Let's not tell my wife that. Michael, first of all, what's your favourite season and why?
Oh, wow. Okay, well, that is a no-brainer. That's I think I go for autumn because of the sheer amount of colour and the turn of the year. It's that Christmas that comes in when it's not cold, what they used to call Indian summer. I'm not sure that we can call things Indian summers anymore. I have absolutely no idea what the protocol will be on that. But you used to get these kind of, blasts of heat, and there you are, and autumn, and then of course the colours and all that kind of stuff.
Okay,
definitely
autumn for yourself, Stephen.
I'm going to the opposite end of the spectrum. Spring for me.
Why spring then?
It's just the promise, isn't it? The promise of what's to come. I mean, I love summer, but spring, you just don't know which way it's going to go, and unpredictability. So yeah, spring. Spring
for yourself. Right then, Stephen. First off for yourself. Is pineapple on a pizza mamma mia or just simply wrong?
Wrong.
Can you say that a bit quicker next time?
Pineapple does not belong on a pizza. In fact, in my opinion, pineapple belongs in very few places. So, I'm not a pineapple fan at all.
Okay.
Pepperoni, not pineapple.
Okay, Michael?
I kind of like the subtle juxtapiposition of the pineapple and the cheese and the pepperoni.
It doesn't work.
It's sort of it's soothing. It brings you to a place of peace and tranquility.
Not in Stephen's mind.
It's like gherkins in burgers. They don't work.
Oh, no, I love a gherkin in a burger as well.
Yeah. Well, not the ones at the well-known establishment just down the road.
Do you know what the worst thing is? I'm vegetarian, have been for over 30 years, and they didn't actually used to put the gherkins in the burgers. They do now, but you can't. I would like to ask for extra gherkins in my burger, but you can't ask for them.
And pineapple.
And pineapple.
I like a gherkin.
Right.
I do like a gherkin, but not in a burger, I'm afraid.
Okay. All right. Do you know, I might add that into the questions. Gherkins in a burger. Yeah. But I love a gherkin in a burger, Right, so pineapple, literally 50-50. One yes, one no. Fair enough.
Who won? Who won on that?
Who won?
Was there a right answer?
No. Okay. There's never a right answer.
Isn't there not?
There's always, as we say in our dance world, it's just simply a variation.
Excellent. You sound like me. All
the right answers, just not necessarily in the right order.
Right then, Michael. If you could travel anywhere in the world right now, where would you go?
Goodness me, I hate these sort of questions because they're sort of everywhere. I would travel somewhere that doesn't require air travel in any way.
Okay.
So mule would be a good way of getting to wherever it is, but obviously
Chippenham?
With the...
So Keynsham, yes, or Chippenham.
Yeah, living on an island, it does become difficult not to go to beautiful places, but there are many beautiful places in the UK, so I would forego the air travel and as much of the other sort of fossil fuels as possible, and I would go to somewhere like I don't know, Wales, Scotland.
Wales or Scotland, the beautiful mountains.
Sounds boring, isn't it? But only because we've been conditioned to think that it's somehow more exotic going out. But it's the payoff, isn't it? It's I just want to limit it.
Now I'm going to make a wild guess. Stephen's jumping on a plane.
I am jumping on a plane. You're absolutely right. My green credentials are not quite as strong as Michael's.
Stephen,
I'm off to Thailand.
That's sort of. I was going to say that's so off-brand that we're actually using planes, but you're going to Thailand, which is kind of
Anglesey.
spiritual. So it's kind of. I'll sort of let you off. But if you can take a mule, that's even better.
So it can be quite a tired mule.
Be kind to the mule.
If I take a mule, that's going to use up more fuel.
No, not mule fuel. Yeah, it's you can beg for the mule on the way you play the percussion, and the money will come.
I've now got an image of Stephen riding on the back of a mule as a triangle, just tapping away.
Yeah.
I've got a triangle.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have.
Yeah.
That's about my level.
If you do it in 3/4 time, you'll need a 3-legged mule to make it. Which will make it slightly slower by 25%. But,
This has gone slightly bizarre, if I'm honest with you, but I'm quite enjoying it. Stephen, right. Yes. I'm not sure it's going to get any better. If you could have any superpower, what would it be?
Ooh. I would have... I think flight, save getting on planes.
Okay, so would you carry the mule on your back?
Flight and strength is going to be required.
Okay, so you're going to fly to Thailand
with a mule.
A 3-legged one.
And a triangle. Mule and a triangle.
Yeah, that's okay.
Now, are either of you artistic in any way, shape, or form? Can you draw things?
Not things that look like things that they're supposed to look
I now
like.
need to see an image. If anybody could do this for me, I now need to see an image. Stephen Nortrop, okay, so if you type in his name on Facebook, it comes up, so you can find a picture of him. I need a picture of him or somebody that can do computer graphics flying with a 3-legged mule on his back whilst playing a triangle.
You can probably just find that by Googling it.
Yeah. Have you done that before?
AI could probably build it for you in 2 seconds, couldn't it?
Anything is possible. So you're flying.
Yeah.
Michael, what about yourself?
Are we still talking about the mule?
We're still on a superpower.
Oh, the superpower.
Yeah, not a mule.
Oh, it's very much more mundane. I think I would like the ability to tie my shoelaces in exactly the same way on both feet.
Right.
That I believe would help the world a lot.
Okay. Now this is very. You're a quite niche. Band as such. This is the most niche superpower I've ever heard.
Absolutely.
So please explain more.
I think it's very important to tie your shoelaces at the right lengths, at the right sort of. Depending, I'm wearing boots at the moment, so I'm sort of all the way up to the top. Perhaps I'm obviously a buckled up sort of person, but no. I think it says a lot. Get your shoelaces right. Get a lot of other things straight too.
Okay. Now I've had this conversation many times with people. I believe that. When we were taught to tie our shoelaces up as a child, we got taught the wrong way. Okay, now whether you agree with this or not is fine. You're allowed to be wrong, because the way I believe, if you imagine our shoelace, we've got the two ends. Okay, what everybody is taught is put one end round and then pull and then hold and then pull that and then you do your bunny ears or whatever from that moment. Okay,
throttle the bunny. Okay,
the downside to just looping it over once at the very beginning is that as soon as you let go, it releases the tension and therefore it becomes looser. So what I learned many years ago, and I just did this myself and then said, why doesn't everybody do this? And I'm yet to come across other people that do this, is at the very beginning is loop it round twice. And then when you pull it, it stays tight.
You see, my wife is from Slovakia.
Right.
And that is exactly how they tie their laces.
That's interesting.
There
was a TED Talk, a very short TED Talk on this very... and it never went viral. I've never figured out why. Well, exactly. As far as I know. But it was this guy, it was a very lovely bloke telling you how to tie your shoelaces.
Okay.
Exactly as you've said. Fabulous.
Yeah, there you go.
So I'm sold, but I like them the right length.
The right length.
But I would need a superpower to do that.
Okay.
And I never leave them on the stairs.
Right. Fantastic. This is scaring with this next part. Michael, are you an early bird or a night owl?
Oh gosh, I've been both in the past few weeks because it's just been crazy caravan of busyness all the time. I am supposed to get up. My sister gets up to meditate at like stupid o'clock, to 4 and things like that. This is just like uncanny. That is a superpower. I tend to go a little later than I need to. Generally, I tend to go a little later.
So you're a night owl more. It's your natural tendency.
Only because I can't be asked to get out of bed sometimes.
Fair enough.
I have to most of the time.
Stephen.
Well, I used to be a night owl, but I am now very much early bird.
You're an early bird. Is that for business purposes?
Not too early. I mean, not Liz
No.
Elizabeth starts early.
Are you meditating in the morning as well?
No. I think about things, but I don't. It's not proper full-on meditation.
No.
It's just brushing teeth. Really.
That's where it starts. One
Gateway.
Yeah.
3 questions to go.
Yep.
Stephen, would you ever skydive?
Do you know what? I think I would.
Okay.
I think I would. I mean, yeah, I think if heaven forbid I drop the mule, then I'd have to dive to go and catch it.
It needs a parachute as well.
I wouldn't want a flattened mule.
Yeah, no, absolutely not.
Michael, what about yourself?
Well, strangely enough, I had considered this at some length because I was writing a passage. I wanted to describe somebody being thrown out of a plane, and I couldn't stop thinking, what would that feel like?
Okay.
And I really... So I very nearly... I never did it in the end, which I should... I didn't use that passage, but I was... I would, in order to find out what that particular event might feel like, So
you would consider doing it?
Yeah, the character didn't have a parachute, but I was not going to go that far.
I am due to do one for the Children's Southwest Hospice as part of my 50th birthday celebrations. Wow. I haven't sorted it out yet, so I do need to get on with doing that.
Do you need a mule for that? Because
only for a 3-legged one.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that would be great. Right. I'm not quite sure the answer to this next one is. Michael, what was your dream job as a child?
As a child, oh my lord!
Yeah, so not now, but what was your dream job as a child?
The funny thing is, on every single, when does childhood end? Probably somebody would say never in my case, but all the way through my GCSEs, which were then called O levels, we got the people asking, "What do you want to do when you
grow up?"
Wanting the answer like the MOD or something like that. That would make their life easier. And I always used to put world-class rock guitarist. That's what I just wanted to do, and it goes right the way back to the playing the tennis racket days. It's I just knew that was my dream. What I'm doing now is my dream job.
That's amazing.
And yeah,
fabulous. Stephen, what about yourself?
Oh, estate agent.
I knew you were coming up with that.
No.
Always a dream.
I think when I was a child, I wanted to be a firefighter.
Ah, the classic.
Yeah, I think so.
I
set fire to many things to put them out.
Well, on that note, we're going to ask the last question then. I don't really know where I'm going to go with that one. So,
YMCA, probably.
Yeah. Stephen, first of all, your last question. What is your favourite memory?
Oh, gosh.
I know. This is a deep question.
Favourite memory?
Yeah. What comes immediately to your mind? It can be recent. It doesn't have to be the...
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously the standard wedding, etc., etc. I think favourite memory would have been, back in the days of fronting the Tinsel Band, would have been probably playing at the Bristol Beer Cellar or one of the universities, but yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
What about yourself then?
I'm going to sound like an inveterate hippie here.
Go for it.
But I have to say, I went quickly through. There are several. There is one that stands out, and that was I was walking the dog, actually. The dog was bored out of his head by this, but I walked the dog on a day that it just rained, and I would, you get sort of dewdrops in the grass, and dewdrops always catch the spectrum of light, and one particular one just caught my eye, and I stood there for literally about 50 minutes. That's why the dog was bored out of his head and running around the place, but I was just looking at and moving my head from side to side, just watching the colours. I wasn't stoned or anything like that, which
sure.
But it was a deeply, it was actually quite a woo moment. It was quite a spiritual moment, actually, and I stood there for hours. Not hours, I didn't say that. It's about 40 minutes looking at this dewdrop, and that's one of the best memories I've ever got.
Amazing.
I had a similar experience in 1983 at Glastonbury.
Involve a mashed mushroom.
Not saying any more.
Please don't. Thank you so much for coming on today, guys. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. It's been bizarre, if I'm honest with you, in lots of different ways, but that's what this is all about.
That's on brand for us.
It's great. Remind everybody where they can hear your music or go and see you.
Awen's Call, AWENS Call, arwenscall.com, Awen's Call on social, Awen's Call on every channel you can think of, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, our principal ones. So, get over there.
And we're going to finish off with one of your tracks, Broken Walls.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I've forgotten I put this one in.
That's
actually.
all right.
Yeah.
So we're going to do that. Thank you so much for coming on, guys. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and no doubt I'll try and see you at some point.
Brilliant.
Maybe on a floor singing along. You never know. You never know.
You can give us dancing lessons.
It's been lovely, Richard. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I can't recast your story or overwrite the past. Find some meaning in your pain, some reason for your past. I am no better angel who'll steer you to the light. Just the faulty brushwork, bleach the canvas white, but I'll lay a promise down and set it in stone to read.